Exciting news! Atypical Artists is currently crowdfunding for our next original, Phantom Pulse. This audio drama / rock album follows a 90s rock band on their first tour as they play dive bars and also do their secret job, cleansing haunted places of ghosts with their music. The show has a truly incredible cast: Nicholas Padani, Erica Ishii, Brigham Snow, Juliana Gutierrez Arango, and Aaron Caesar. But we need your help to actually pay them and make sure it's a union production. Go to phantompulse.com to join the Kickstarter today. Get ready to rock the haunted out of the house.
Hello, my little havoc wreakers. Thank you so much for listening to the first season of 2000 and Late, and get prepared for an absolutely smashing season 2, hopefully coming sometime in late 2026 or early 2027. In the meantime, show your allegiance to yours truly by going to atypicalartist.co/merch and get a Havoc Wreaker button or a Wreak Some Havoc sticker. They are absolutely fabulous. Remember to always go out there and wreak some havoc. All right, back to the show.
Hello, Havoc Wreakers, and welcome back to our little dose of hope. Yes, we're going to continue to do these. Only once a month, but we're going to keep the hope going between seasons of Havoc. Thank you so much for all the love you've shown us already in our first season, and we can't wait to bring you more of this story, hopefully sometime next year. In the meantime, stay tuned for these chats, tell your friends about the show, rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and go check out our awesome merch, atypicalartist.co/merch. And if you're just joining us, I'm Lauren Shippen, creator of 2000 and Late, and first of all, go listen to the show if you haven't already. Then come back here where, in an effort to balance out all the shitty stuff the audio drama tackles, I talk with some incredible artists, creators, and activists who are grappling with our twisted reality and doing hella cool stuff to counteract the bad. This month, I'm talking to Marc Sollinger, a longtime friend and colleague, co-creator of Archive 81 and the new and wonderful Conversations with Ghosts. We talk about what it means to be a working artist, finding hope in progressive candidates, and writing spooky stories. Enjoy. So, you and I have known each other for, almost 10 years, probably?
I would say almost 10 years.
Which feels pretty crazy. But we kind of came up together in audio drama. And so if you were going to give listeners kind of like a brief rundown of how you got into this wacky business of ours.
Right. I think we came in the I like to say it like we came at the exact right time in audio drama. We both got incredibly lucky with our exact age ranges and when we started to make stuff.
Yes,
in the
absolutely.
space we made stuff. So I have always basically my boring Spider-Man origin story is that I've always been really, really interested in the power of audio storytelling from when I was, in my car in high school and I heard the dulcet tones of Ira Glass on This American Life. I was crying in the driveway and I was like, the power of audio, it can do so many things. And, I'm joking, but it genuinely can do so many things. And I do have a big affection for it. So I went to college in Syracuse, at Syracuse University, the Renee Crown University Capstone Project, if you're very impressed. You should not be. But, so I studied radio, television, and film. So, but in addition to the nonfiction side of audio storytelling, I also got interested in the fiction side of audio storytelling through the golden age of radio, Orson Welles, Shadow, all that stuff, the history that people kind of forget about when they talk about audio fiction, at least today. Yeah. And as part of that Renee Crown University Honors Program, everybody has to do a capstone project. And I chose to do a audio fiction, I think it was eight to 10 episodes, little thing for my project. And I wrote it, I edited it, and the main actor was one Daniel Powell, who our professor basically was just, hey, I think you would be you two would do well together. And thank you, Professor Quinn. You were 100% right. So basically, after college, I worked at a bunch of journalism and radio jobs, and Dan and I became friends, and we were talking about like, hey, we should do something together. We should do something cool. And he was at the time working for this sound effects library. So his job was just listening to a bunch of sound effects all day, every day, and categorizing them into this archive. And then we were like, oh, there's something there. There's something there to the image of somebody just listening to a bunch of tapes all day. And so that's the origin of Archive 81. And that's how Dan and I got into fiction podcasting. Dan, we very much conceive of the ideas together. It's always been very much a partnership. I do most of the writing. Dan does most of the sound design, and then we direct it together and produce it together, and then split up the boring bullshit, finance and press stuff based on which is less annoying to us.
And act. I mean, you both are in. There's usually like one of you in your projects, if not both. Yeah.
I mean, it's. One of the things that we've always done is we've always paid our actors, except for members of our own nuclear family. We've always paid our actors. Dan's dad, who plays Davenport in Archive 81, was not paid. We asked him, but he said no. But the cool thing about casting yourself is even if you're not a great actor, you do not have to pay yourself.
Yep. That is a huge reason why I am playing two characters in 2000 and Late. It's funny, actually. The 2000 and Late is a SAG production because I am a SAG actor. And SAG did make me pay myself something. So I did have to pay myself, I think I paid myself $200 for the whole season because they were like, you actually can't submit, if you're paying all these other actors, you also need to pay yourself. So I didn't get away with it entirely this time, but still got myself at a huge discount. So I understand that very well.
Yeah. And then, so basically we released Archive 81 around the same time that I think you released Bright Sessions. Maybe you were a little bit before.
Yeah, what was the release month and year of Archive 81? Do you remember?
It was 2016, I think.
Okay, yeah, we were 2015. We were November 2015,
yeah.
So
okay, yeah. I think we're coming up to the 10-year. Maybe we should do something for the 10-year anniversary. We probably won't. We don't. Dan and I aren't very good at press and connecting with fans or anything. I feel bad. I feel bad to people who like our stuff. We're just a little bit, a little bit insular.
I mean, I think that's nice. Not everybody needs to be online all the time.
Yeah. But so we basically released around the same time, which was the, quote unquote second or third, however you want to call it, golden age of fiction podcasting, where there was a bunch of stuff. Welcome to Night Vale was a little bit earlier, but Limetown, Black Tapes, bunch of very, very, wow, this tape. Because we didn't trust the audience to not to think of non-diegetic sound. We're just no, it's got to be diegetic, I guess.
There has to be a reason.
Has to be a reason.
It's true. I mean, everything was that way initially, except for the stuff that was coming out of England because they have a totally different tradition than us. Yeah.
So, and then we did Archive 81 for years, and we essentially the things that are the people who listen to it both love and dislike is that each season we try something new and just do a whole zig and zag. And then we it was adapted into a Netflix show.
Yeah.
And then that was one season. And then after that, then during the height of COVID, we did a bunch of different other stuff. Worked on a bunch of different projects that yeah, worked on a bunch of different projects that unfortunately haven't been publicly available.
Yeah.
And because you know the deal.
Yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yep, it's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then back last year, we decided to do something that we completely owned and came up with ourselves, which was a science fiction spoken word concept album. It was a commercial play. We're calling it. It's we were like, what's the thing that'll make us a ton of money and success? And we were like, spoken word science fiction concept album, kind of inspired by Ursula K. Le Guin, and Dan can talk about the extremely obscure electronic bands and musicians he was inspired by. But it was a commercial play. But we released it. But in addition, we also released it mid-November, 2024, which is a great time to release a project. Very smart of us. Because we really just owned the news cycle. It was mid-November 2024, what were you talking about? Obviously, the release of Generation Crossings, Dead Signals,
of course, because nothing else was going on, thankfully. It was like a really boring month. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was nice to have that to listen to amidst a very quiet news cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I no. So
I will say, actually, I do have a very, very fond memory of there's I mostly play video games on my PS5, but I do have one Steam game on my computer that still runs on my operating system called The Long Dark. It's a survival game where you're surviving in the Canadian wilderness, and I play it whenever I'm home for the holidays because it's you're in the snow, and it's it's the only thing I can play on my computer. And I like to listen to podcasts while I play it, and I have a very fond memory of sitting by the fire at my parents' house listening to Generation Crossing and playing that game. And I think I listened to the song on the album enough that it made its way into my 2024 Apple replay. It's in there, Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic album. I don't know if I've told you that before, but I really love it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's Dan and I are really proud of it. It's weird and strange, and it's something that we talked about to various, we didn't pitch it to various companies, but whenever anybody asked us, what, do you have any ideas? We're always like, it would be cool to do a weird thing from the perspective of a generation ship that where none of the characters it's generations of the characters, so you can't attach to anybody. It's so, and you can see how myths develop, and that did not nobody was interested in that one. But we were able to just make it, and we're really proud of it. Yeah. So that's the Generation Crossing. Dan basically came to me and was like, "Hey, let's do a concept album." And then I wrote the thing for it. We pitched it together. So our next project, which was released as of the time of we record this yesterday, is Conversations with Ghosts, which is a very I reached out to you a couple months ago, I think, if you remember, and I was like, hey, do you have any tips on writing just straight episodes that are just straight dialogue between two characters?
It's I think my response was probably, if I can't really remember exactly what I said, it was I've done that a lot and I don't know that I have any tips.
Yeah. I mean, which would be my response if somebody asked me now. But so Conversations with Ghosts, it's very much inspired by there's a bunch of really cool graveyards in New York City that are just really, really lovely to walk through. And it's inspired by New York City history and just this sort of wistful longing and thinking about death in a both hopeful and despairing way. Basically, each episode, this mausoleum attendant talks to a different ghost to try and get them pass on, and he learns about their life and tries to either trick, cajole, plead, convince them to basically pass on. So each episode is a different ghost from a different time period, and it's there's a connecting thread. There's a through line, but it's more of an anthology than Archive 81, and it's something that we're like, okay, first season is 17 episodes.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like each episode a week, like it's something Dan and I think that it's something that you can not dip in and dip out of, but like if you have a favorite episode, you can share it with somebody and you don't need a lot of context for it.
Yeah.
But it's also like Dan doesn't have to sound design footsteps, which he's so excited about.
That's a really good point. The bane of every sound designer's existence is footsteps.
Yeah, not a lot of door creaks for it.
Yeah.
So basically, like, Dan gets to do a bunch of like sort of out there and atmospheric sound design, and then I get to write a bunch of like stuff based on New York City history, which is it's dude reads The Power Broker one time, and
That's fair.
Yeah. And then Dan also wrote a few episodes, and they're really, really cool, and they're very much based on his interests, like 90s art, folk music, archival process, and the 90s rave scene.
Hell yeah.
They're really great. Yeah, so we're really excited about it, and this probably leads to our next point of conversation, which is we're releasing it in 2025, and that I don't know if you've noticed, it's a little bit different than releasing something in 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Well, first of all, the first two episodes are fantastic. I love them. And yeah, I just like, there's a real sound to this. This sounds stupid, but like, I promise I have a point. Like, you know, like Gabrielle Urbina's new show, The Harbingers, just came out, and I've been listening to that as well. It's wonderful, and it's made by the folks who did Unwell, Audacious Machine Creative, Jeffrey, also sound design 2000 and late. And so it's like, I don't know, it's been fun to kind of see, to like listen to Conversations with Ghosts, and like, I don't know, like I'm so familiar with your work, with Gabrielle's work, with Jeffrey's work, and to like see how you all have like grown as artists over the years, but also how like everybody has their own particular sound and like their own particular flavor. Like I know when I'm listening to a Dead Signals show, you know, and I know when I'm listening to a Gabrielle Urbina show, and I know when I'm listening to an Audacious Machine show, and like that's just, I don't know, that's something that like I just really appreciate, and I think that I've been reflecting a lot, because it's 10 years of the Bright Sessions, on the last decade of like growing up in this field, and to get to sort of like grow up all together, I think is something really, really special. And it's also interesting to me that like we all started with our little indie shows back in 2014, 15, 16, went off and did things for big companies, did like crazy experiments, you know, like got hired to write on other shows, got hired to sound design other shows, whatever, worked other jobs. And now we've kind of like all come back 10 years later, and we're just making our own shit again. And I know that for me, it's driven by the fact that like nobody's buying audio fiction anymore, really, except for like Audible and the BBC. And I also just got like tired of the sort of, making things that don't see the light of day, or pitching things for a year that never then go anywhere, or whatever it is. And so like, yeah, I'm curious kind of, I mean, obviously Generation Crossing was also an independent thing, but that also, with it being an album, it's sort of existing in like a different ecosystem. So yeah, how has it been sort of coming back to the like, okay, it's just you two putting out this podcast? Like, you know, what's that been like?
It was tough to release something in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough to release something in 2018. It's tough to release something in 2020, 2022, 2025. It will be tough to release something in 2027. And that is true of whatever you make, because there is a lot of stuff out there. However, it was a lot easier to release something back when we originally released it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a couple reasons. And I think that 10 years ago, social media companies still felt like the primary way they were going to get money was by connecting people with shared interests and building community. Mm-hmm. And they no longer think that.
Yeah.
And that's probably true, because they're making more money. Great. And I'm so happy for them.
I mean, who deserves it more, really?
I just feel like I personally just want Mark Zuckerberg to get more money. And that's my main goal.
His happiness and wealth is so important to me.
Because you know that every dollar he gets makes him a little bit happier. Mm-hmm. You know that's true.
And of course, he's doing such great things with all of his wealth as well. So
it's great.
It's like just a win-win all around. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and then also there wasn't as much stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then also, if to get on the front page of Apple Podcast was one guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. You remember him?
I do.
Yeah. He's great. He was great. If he liked your show, he'd just put it on the front page. It was like a pretty easy way to get like.
Yeah, if you could just like get his email, it was like.
Yeah, and it's like and I don't think that there should be one guy doing that, like technically, but it was nice for me.
Yeah.
It's probably why I got a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I can't complain too much. So I think that like, after like the weird, the story of any art is a bunch of independent weirdos make stuff. Then a bunch of companies are like, we could make money here. Mm-hmm. And then they try and make money here. And then they like don't make as much money as they think they will, because it's art and it's not like widgets. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, the companies leave, and you know the independent weirdos still make their stuff, but they don't get as much money.
Yeah.
And it's more difficult to make stuff. So the lucky thing about that is Dan and I are extremely blessed to have creative and fulfilling day jobs, and we do not, knock on wood, worry about our healthcare as much.
Yeah.
So we're not scrambling as much to make stuff and sell stuff in a insert 5-minute rant about capitalism hellscape.
Yeah.
So basically, like, Dan and I also do stuff that's outside of audio trauma. Like, Dan makes really, really cool electronic music. Mm-hmm. Like, it is not something that if I didn't know Dan, I would listen to, because Dan always makes fun of me because, like, there's a I mentioned that there's a episode in Conversations with Ghosts about like raving. There's a little bit of an interaction that's not so much the characters talking. Dan also plays the raver in the episode.
Perfect.
As Marc Sollinger and Daniel Powell talking about how Marc Sollinger does not want. It's like, 11? That's a little bit late, but I guess I could stay out until then. No, it starts at 11.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
You and I are the same in this way.
Yeah. No, so, but Dan makes such incredible music that I listen to like on my exercise bike and stuff. He's an incredible musician who makes a bunch of really, really cool stuff. And then I also like, I finished a novel that I'm shopping around.
Yeah.
Any agents who are listening, hit me up. I just wrote a play that I'm really proud of that I had a
amazing.
reading with my friends. Any play people, hit me up. And those are things that I'm really proud of. But one of the things that I love about just doing something with Dan, and I'm curious what you think about this, is that like, fortunately, Dan and I are in the position where if we want to make something, for the most part, we can just make it.
Yeah.
Like, and release it. And, getting it into an audience is trickier now, but we can still make something and it's still there. Generation Crossing is still there. Like, I'm also curious, like, because I think that we've both had success with our audio drama, but like, it's always tough there's no button you can press that's like shocks everybody who's listened to Archive 81 or the Bright Sessions and like whispers in their ear, hey, the thing you like, there's a new thing from the same creator. Do you want to check it out? It's like, well, you can do a thing in your podcast feed, but some people might have stopped subscribing.
Yep.
Some people don't, check their podcast feed on that day. Do you check out Blue Sky, the millennial old age home, where they're just
There it
playing
is.
stuff that we like? Yeah.
Yep. God, it's so true.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and I mean it's one of those things where like I look at you and you're on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and that is something that I do not want to do personally.
It's so awful, and I hate it a lot. But yeah, I mean, like, I think this is all so, like, despite the fact that we did sort of like grow up together in many ways, like, I do think that, yeah, like the realities of having a job that you like and that gives you, it's like, I am paying for my own healthcare, right? Like, I've never had healthcare through an employer in my life, because I went from being on my parents' healthcare to, Obamacare. Thank God for Obamacare. And so, yeah, like, I do sort of feel this, like, this need to, like, keep moving, we're all die.
Right.
And I also feel like incredibly fortunate to, just be able to like make my own work. Like I made a show, Breaker Whiskey, technically it's still going on, but I did it every weekday for a year. And it was like just me, and I just did all of it. And every year I do a show called New Year's Day with two of my best friends and like longtime collaborators as the actors. And I sound design it all myself, but my partner is a sound designer. And so it's like he can like help me with anything that I need. It's like, so yeah, I think that is something that is unique to audio drama, right? Like, and I think there, obviously, yeah, like music, you can get your own stuff out there, especially if you can, like make all of the music elements yourself. If you write a book, you can self-publish it and you can continue to do that, etc. But yeah, audio drama is interesting in that, like, the form in which it's delivered to people. If you are an independent producer or if you are, Star Trek, the mechanism is exactly the same, right? There's no like special place for the fancy people with lots of money. It's like all right there. And so in that sense, like, I think that, yeah, like reaching an audience, the thing that I always say to people who are like new to I do like a lot of consulting, and people, will ask like, well, how do you market a fiction podcast? And like, here's sort of the things that I've learned, but like the truth is that I don't know. And if anybody tells you that they know, they're lying to you. Because like, yeah, like the big Audible shows or whatever that are released on for free on podcast apps are encountering the exact same problems that we are in terms of finding an audience. And so, yeah, I do the TikTok and I do the Instagram and I do the Blue Sky and the Tumblr and all of those things. And I think the thing that I'm encountering is like, I've been thinking a lot about this, and actually like just made like a Tumblr post about this, because I was like, I have a feeling that I want to throw out into the ether, which is just that like, I don't make the same kind of effort to find new art in the way that I used to. And I think with audio drama, I do make more of an effort because I try to like listen to, so I'll like roll, sort of roll through like the new shows or the charts or whatever, and just like find a show I think looks interesting that I've never heard of before and just like listen to the pilot, right? But I think that like it feels truly like just a numbers game. Like, okay, if I post 1,000 times a day, eventually I'll sort of like pick up one person with this video and 4 people with this video, and like that's just not tenable, especially if you're working a full-time job. And like I work 2 part-time jobs to like actually pay my bills, and it's like the amount of time, like I also would love to have like, yeah, like, my full-time job be writing and making things, but it's like it's not, and it's like, and I don't think it ever actually will be. I think there are very, very few people for whom writing is like actually like the thing that they spend most of their time doing. Because there's always a degree of promotion and administrative stuff. But yeah, I think for me, like the big challenge that I still see for us as audio drama creators, and I'm curious to get your perspective on this, is like back in 2015, when I explained what I did to people, I would oftentimes have to sort of contextualize what a podcast was. Because it's like Serial came out in 2015 and Serial really started to popularize the podcast, but it was not a thing that everybody was doing as part of their media diet. And that is certainly not the case anymore, right? Podcasts are as prolific as TV and film are now, but fiction podcasts are sort of still occupying the same amount of sort of airspace, sort of metaphorically speaking, as they used to. And so like I see our biggest challenge is like not necessarily like getting the readers and the TV viewers and the video game players who would like our stuff, but getting more of the podcast audience. And like there hasn't been something that's done for fiction podcasts what Serial did for podcasts as a medium. I don't know. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, until Conversations with Ghosts.
Exactly.
I
mean, I hope so. Like, I want somebody to do it, I would love if it was you and Dan. We got our first 2-star review of somebody being like, it was great until like, they started complaining about everything would be better if the lefties were in charge. And I'm like, how did you listen to the first episode of a woman breaking a cat caller's legs and think you weren't listening to a leftist podcast? Like, I don't know what to tell you. You got 5 episodes into this and it's like the unionizing that's like kicking you off. But then again, I also am always happy to reach somebody who doesn't like my stuff, because it means that I have broken through sort of that first layer of like the people who are going to be inclined to listen. And I don't know. I do also think that like Conversations with Ghosts has incredible legs in terms of like interest and appeal to people, and also like the fact that you guys are doing 17 episodes, like. I think longer seasons is like a huge part of why something becomes popular.
I saw it. I think what are the Blue Sky tweets called? Skeets? Or like.
I just call them posts.
I
refuse to say the word skeets.
Yeah, great, cool. No, like you had this Blue Sky skeet. Yes. Yeah, no, I'm not going to make a bunch of jokes about that. So that you were talking about, like, I feel like a lot of people who come from TV go into the audio drama space and are like, oh, I know how to do this. And it's like, no, maybe you don't.
Though.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make a TV show.
Yeah. So I like longer seasons, I think, are really like how you connect with people. I think that like the independence of it all, people kind of respond to that. But like to your original question of like why audio drama is a smaller share of the market. I mean, I think I don't think that there's one explanation for it. I think that like now people don't want audio drama because it's not video. Because video podcasts are so important, and everybody needs to pivot to video. Lauren, why haven't you pivoted to video yet?
Because I'm bad at my job.
Okay, I'm seeing you, like, your face front ways. I need it just to pivot a little bit. Pivot to video. Just pivot a little bit. 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool. We love it. You know, and it's like, and so at first it felt like the issue was no celebs, like no celebs doing this. And then a bunch of celebs were in podcasts, and nice celebs.
Yeah.
Celebs people like. You've worked with them.
They're lovely.
They seem fine.
And they're famous for a reason. They're very good at their jobs.
Yeah. We love them.
Yeah.
But like, it's like Rami Malek, Oscar winner Rami Malek, like, was in like a podcast, and it was not as popular as either of our shows.
Yeah.
That did not have Rami Malek. And I say this not as a denigration of like the team or the like or any of that. Rami Malek is great. I'm sure the people who made that are lovely.
Yeah,
but
I know
like,
the folks who did the sound for that, and they're great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just like it's not if you have Amy Poehler on your show, it's not like
The silver bullet.
the silver bullet. Like so there's this podcast, Stanland, which is really funny. It's like Portal Fantasy. There's a bunch of good jokes. It's really good. And it has like Bobby Moynihan and like John Hamm. And it has like a cameo from John Waters. Like it has a bunch of cool people there. But like, that's not why I, listen to it. I heard about it because it had a cross promo on Parkdale Haunt. Mm-hmm. And like, that's how I heard about it. It's not because I was, knew about that. It's so celebs are not the answer.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't want to be like, if only people will hear the right audio drama, they'll love it. There's, I do think that there can be a niche thing. Like, I don't think, I like, I don't know if Dropout does this, a Dimension 20.
Yeah.
This, yes. Yeah. Why I was like, I don't know if you know this. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a Dimension 20 watcher,
Yes.
but I am a Dropout subscriber. I'm a make some noise game changer girl. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yes. You've heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't think my mom would respond to Dimension 20.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. I don't think tabletop stuff is for everybody. I don't think audio drama is for everybody. I think it can be for a lot more people.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
we've proven that tabletop is for a lot more people than we thought.
Yes.
Those things are very successful.
Exactly.
Dimension 20 played Madison Square Garden.
I was there with Jack.
Were you
Hall.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, I had to leave halfway through because I lost my keys and I had to go back to my partner's home because my partner likes to go to sleep early, and I was like, I can stay up. It's like, no, I'm not going to make you stay up until 1 a.m. to let me in, and so I can get your pair of keys.
Oh no!
But it was fun. The first half was really fun.
I'm sure it was great.
Yeah.
We do just need something to kind of watching a TV show was not something that everybody did, every night for a long time. And not to say that I don't think audio drama will ever have the kind of share that TV has, but I mean, a lot of people are into tabletop. A lot of people are into video games, and it's there's nothing to say that audio drama couldn't get a bigger share of sort of people who want cool art.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I do think that I think that there can be so I've been thinking about K-pop Demon Hunters a lot recently because it is huge, and it's my partner essentially forced me to watch, not forced me, just Yeah, let's watch it. It's it was their third or fourth time. They're a
Nice.
huge BTS
Nice.
K-pop fan. And I saw it. Like, I didn't get a lot of the songs, or not the songs. I didn't get a lot of the references, but it was very charming.
Yeah.
The songs were extremely catchy. And then I was like, oh, I talked to Dan, and Dan was like, yeah, I saw it with my partner. We loved it. So good. And I was like, this has, like, nobody realized what a success this was. And it was, and like the secret sauce, the like thing that like nobody was like counting on, the reason why like you can't get a official K-pop Demon Hunters Halloween costume this year in time is because nobody thought it would be good. That was like the secret sauce. The secret sauce was that it was good.
Right.
And I think talking to a lot of like people who work in Hollywood and work in the entertainment industry, it's like, why was this successful? And it's like, well, it wasn't because, like, yes, K-pop is a big
Yeah.
thing, and like, there's, oh yeah, no, shifting demographics, yeah, but it was also good. Like, the lesson you should learn, one of the lessons you should learn from it is that if you make good things, people will respond to them. And I don't want to like take this too far, because if you look at like the top 50 podcasts,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some very good stuff. There's some very, very good stuff. There's a lot of the two most unpleasant people you've ever heard talk about grisly true crime stuff in a way that does not seem extremely respectful.
Yeah.
That's
There's a lot of the most annoying man you've ever met talking to the second most annoying man you've ever met.
Yes. Do you like it when two people read a Wikipedia page and go, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool, there's a lot of, so it's not like, oh, the secret sauce is quality, and if you do good things, the audience will be there. No, that's not, like, we both know a lot of extremely talented creators have a couple hundred listeners at most.
Yep.
And like, and one of the secret sauce is luck and timing.
Yeah.
So,
We just have to keep manufacturing luck and timing. That's something you can control and create, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll be
it's
fine.
So, yeah. Yeah. So like the answer is how do you like get more people into it? I mean, make good stuff and cross your fingers is my kind of shitty answer.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's not a good one. I mean,
but I think
maybe I should get onto
I think it is the only answer. Like, and I think like being genuinely passionate about your own work, like, the number of times I've sort of had to tell people through the years who are like, wanting to get into audio drama because it's cheap and because it's easier than like making a short film or web series or whatever. And
because
it's like,
I have
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I was chiming in with, because I have a TV show and I can do this as a spec thing.
Exactly. And it's like, no, like, not only is nobody going to listen to it, but it's also not going to be good because you clearly don't give a shit about the medium. And like, you just need to care. Like, you just need to care. Like, I would so much rather listen to a like kind of sloppy sounding lo-fi podcast made by somebody with just like all of the love for it in the world than like the slickest, most celebrity packed podcast by somebody who's like just trying to do like a TV pilot in podcast form to pitch it, and not to say that you can't adapt a TV pilot into a podcast. Like, there's been some great podcasts that have come from that, but they've involved people who are like excited to try out an audio only story rather than like, just sort of throwing their thing into a new medium.
Right. Yeah. The amount of like podcasts that are like the MacGuffin is visual is wild.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, like, wow, they just need to steal this painting, and this painting has a bunch of shifting stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah,
sure,
I guess. Can the painting? I mean, everybody clowns on, oh, the cassette is haunted. And as somebody who, in the second season of their show, hollowed out a dude and shoved a tape recorder up his urethra. That's not actually what happened. That's not canon. If any Archive 81 fans are listening.
But there is some real body horror in Archive 81.
Yes. But, like, there's a reason why the black tapes, like, it's cassette horror because, like, yeah, it's an audio medium.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to have a creepy song, that shit's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, so amidst all of the striving for listeners and just trying to make stuff that we like, what is giving you hope in this capitalist hellscape? Like, whether it's an organization or an artist or something that you're just like seeing as a trend in art or anything, like what's giving you hope?
So non-art, it's I live in New York, so I've been knocking on a lot of doors for the Big Z, as we call him. And there's something very, very inspiring about seeing a bunch of people like go out and like, you know, fight for somebody who believes in shit.
What a concept.
as opposed to not straight nihilism. Mm-hmm. I feel like Mandani is the main thing that's giving me hope. Honestly, not a lot is giving me hope. I try not to be too sad about this, but like, or nihilistic about it, but like, the way people are treating AI is deeply concerning.
Yeah.
I think that people like, there are things that you should do. Like, people talk a lot about like guilty pleasures and stuff. That's like, oh, it's just this thing that I feel a little bit guilty about. I think we need to bring back the concept of shame a little bit more.
Yeah, I get that.
If you are outsourcing like a large portion of the thing that makes you human and the thing that gives you a soul to a plagiarism machine, that is bad and you should feel bad about it.
Yeah. It's
the same way I feel about like low rent true crime. Mm-hmm. Like stuff that's just like, oh, this murdered white woman, these two people are drinking coffee and talking about her horrible murder.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that there's a lot of really interesting and important nonfiction about like terrible subjects. Criminal is one of the best podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Like you can do it in a ethical, sensitive way. Mm-hmm. Two drunk, friends chatting about crime is not that.
Yeah.
You should feel guilty if you like that. That is not a good thing to put inside your mind and soul.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, this is just talking about what I don't like. What I am inspired by is a good answer. So one of the things that I have really appreciated that Dan and I have been able to do is have a bunch of actors that we like working with and that we have worked with in a bunch of different projects, mm-hmm. and that we just like.
Yeah.
And I think that there is something that is also true for you and is also true for a lot of creators that have worked as in this audio drama space, and that is building a community or like people that you like to work with and people that you feel comfortable with and comfortable taking risks with. And I think that there is something uniquely special about audio drama because the thing about audio drama, barriers are lower than TV. There are still barriers, mm-hmm. but they are lower than TV. Mm-hmm. So you're able to create that community in a way that's unique and interesting and like, you're able to find people that you like and work with them. And that is something that was really, really fun with Generation Crossing and with Conversations with Ghosts. And that is something that, the knowledge that there are people out there working on their craft in a world and a country and a city that is not necessarily conducive to that is very inspiring to me.
Yeah.
That said, if I could move to another country, if that's
a while, maybe for just a little bit, just for a while.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think one of the things that's it's just like finding a sense of community, and in a world where everybody is so atomized and so all the incentives are there to not create community and not do in-person art and just to sit in your room and check TikTok all day. So that's inspiring. What about you, Lauren?
I mean, I think that's so well put. I definitely think like community is always one of those things that really inspires me. And I mean, like, yeah, I a couple of weeks ago, we had a Seattle audio drama meetup, with folks here. And it was only like 12 of us. But it was just like, I don't know, it was wonderful to meet like other independent creators who are making it because they love it. And just that like are doing good work. And I don't know, I think that like amidst all of the AI stuff, which I feel exactly the same way about, it gives me a lot of hope that just like you cannot prevent people from making good art, and then from people finding that good art. And I do think that ultimately human beings want art from other human beings. They don't want slop, right? And so I think I have hope that like that will continue, and that actually as the internet fills up more and more with garbage, that people will have to really make an effort to find art that they can connect with, which I think will be good for all of us. So that's what's giving me hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, until Station 11 happens, and we're just going from small community to small community, performing Twelfth Night. Yeah.
Listen, I know what I'm doing in the apocalypse.
Yes. What will your job in the post-apocalypse be? Oh, a bard.
I'll be a bard.
Okay. Yeah, we won't have enough of those.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'll die quickly. That's really what my job in the post-apocalypse will be. Well, thank you so much, Marc, for taking the time to talk with me. This has been so lovely, as always.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren. I really appreciate it. I hope I didn't talk too much or not enough.
No, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody should go listen to Conversations with Ghosts. If you're in this feed, you're already listening to 2000 and Late. So
if you haven't hit the like 5-star button, you should do that. And then check out your Tumblr, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that
I'm on Tumblr? Yeah. How should people find you on the internet?
Oh, okay. So the best way is to subscribe to Conversations with Ghosts, and also I'm on Instagram, but it's not a private Instagram, but it's basically a private Instagram. I would feel weird if you follow. No, I wouldn't feel weird. You're more than welcome to follow me. But Blue Sky, I guess. Yeah. Marc Sollinger. We're on X now, and Blue Sky at Dead Signals and Archive 81. But the best and easiest way is to follow, subscribe to Archive 81, Conversations with Ghosts, and listen to Generation Crossing on Bandcamp or Spotify, wherever you get it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lauren.